So good morning, everybody. Who am I? Well, I'm Colonel Retired John Mills here. You might have seen me on a few shows and things like that. I'm on Bannon's show every so often when I have a topic that's of interest and he wants me to come on here. But let me go over, and so this morning's topic is, why is America different? Why are we special, unique, and different? And this should be your driving, galvanizing, just the message why you should fight and fight for America. Thank you very much. So let me, first of all, who am I? Let me go over my career really briefly. I've been really blessed. I've had an incredible career so far, and I'm still going. I still have a tire life left on me here, so I'm not going anywhere. My career is really 6 periods, okay? First, I call it Cold War. You remember the Cold War? I don't know how many, a few of you might be old enough. That's when we were face to face staring down the Soviets. So I first came in the military during the Cold War period. Nuclear weapons everywhere, staring down. We're unfortunately coming back to that. China's building silos like crazy. Watch out. Transition to the peace dividend, there was this thing called the First Gulf War. Brave Rifles, 3rd Armored Cavalry, First Gulf War. We had this period called the peace dividend. Downsizing the military, huge, 50% reduction. And oh, by the way, let's start doing all these things called peacekeeping operations. Spent a year in Bosnia trying to keep the people from killing each other there, okay? But then we started at the end of that, a guy named Dick Clark at the White House kept on identifying this guy named Osama. What was he talking about? Who's this Osama guy? 9/11. And so I was right in the middle of the game there. Had to plan Afghanistan. We needed a plan. So worked Afghanistan. Things started eventually to go our direction. Regime change, changing out a very bad leader. Very bad man. But time went on, I kind of call it, we transitioned to a new president. I call it, we went from the war on terror to the world in chaos, and a new concept of American leadership. We're going to lead from behind. We're going to sit on the bleachers. We're just going to kind of let you guys do your thing, and we're just going to kind of sit here and watch, and you guys kind of do your thing in the world. Okay, well, how did that work out? Arab Spring, total chaos, the rise of China. I mean, it was absolute chaos, and we had a vice president at the time that organized the withdrawal from Iraq. How did that work out? And then we just replayed it just a few weeks ago. Unbelievable. World in chaos, that transition to the era of great power competition. China. It's all about China. That's what I work really right now, is focusing on China. But at the same time, we're in the middle of a fight for our lives. This is a fight to save the republic. We have to deter China, save our republic. So the threat is at abroad, it's also at home. So 6 wonderful periods here, and I'm still going. 2 critical things kind of pop out at me at this career and really shaped, why is America different? 9/11, I'll never forget that. After 9/11, I was actually in Texas at a big meeting with my son. 9/11 happened, and I'll never forget that drive across the country. I'll never forget that. It was just unbelievable, driving back from Texas to Washington, D.C. And then having to go down and work for Admiral Cunningham, the J5 at Central Command. We don't have a plan. We just have a small number of CIA and Special Operations Team, Task Force Dagger and Task Force Sword on the ground. What's the plan? We just had them. Each of them had $1 million in a flight bag. That's another story. Well, we came up with a plan. I always remember numbers 13, 1330, 12 spies. 10 were bad, 2 were good. Joshua and Caleb had a good report, said, we can do this. I said, Admiral, we can do this. And we got people on the ground. Everything went our way. That's another story. The next thing was something called, anybody heard of something called Russiagate, Spygate? Well, I got 27 pages in front of Durham, okay? I hope it makes a difference. We had a group of Americans trying to topple a president. Unbelievable, very bad. And I'm convinced sooner or later we will have justice here. But I was right in the middle of it. I was called 2 days after the election. John, we need you. We need you to come to the White House and help produce the plan to make sure Trump doesn't become president and delay the inauguration. I said, you gotta be kidding me. This is what we're fighting. This is what we're fighting here. We need you. So, great career, still going. All of us are in this together here in this great country. And it's America. We're special. We're unique. We're different. Don't accept those lies that they tell you on mainstream media, in the colleges and universities. I know, we're just like any other country. Okay, we're no different. We're just a blip in history. No. There's been nothing like us, ever. And there never will be, if God forbid we let this mob tear apart this country. This is wrong. We are a small L liberal democratic republic, something that's never, ever existed in history, ever, and will never exist again if we let this hateful mob domestically tear it apart, or we let the Chinese influence it from abroad. And the situation is becoming extremely dangerous right now. She is under immense, immense pressure at home. And what do dictators do when they get in trouble at home? They strike out, cause war. We have to stand up and fight because we're special, we're different, we're unique. Don't believe those lies. Because I've done a lot of international partnerships. That was one of my core activities and still is, working with our international partners in special operations. Job one is to make, it's not to kill people, it's to make friends. People always mess us up. They think job one, you have Secretary Zenke about to come out, spent a lot of years also in the special operations community. Job one is to make friends and partners, because you never know when you'll need a friend or a partner. That's special operator, that's your job one, is to do that, not to kill people. Kill people is job 2 or 3, okay? Job 1 is to make friends. So I spent a lot of time on international partnerships, and it is absolute lie what people they say about President Trump, and oh my gosh, he's destroyed all these what a load of horse dump. What a load of horse dump, because I worked with these partners face to face, working very sensitive matters and very sensitive issues. They love us. Maybe they don't always love us, but they respect us. I was in Singapore on Inauguration Day when President Trump came into office, conducting a bilateral with the Singaporeans. They loved us. They loved us. They loved our leadership. The ambiguity of the Obama-Biden psychology just drives these people crazy. They don't even understand, half the time I'd have to wrestle down an Obama-Biden folk and say, our international partners do not understand our policy positions. And they go, but guess what? They don't understand it either. They're always in the abstract. They're not about outcome. It's about feelings, emotions. So we're different because we're a constitutional-based society, a liberal democratic republic that's never existed before, with a written constitution. And I always like to go to Winston Churchill, one of my favorites. Some people don't like him. I think he's incredible in history, half American. Remember the words of Winston Churchill. He said, America is the worst country in the world. The worst. Except for every other country out there. Okay? We are the best. Don't hide from that. Don't run away from that. God has put us on this world. We're a heritage. We're a shining light. Please don't run away. Don't believe these lies they'll tell you in many schools. They love our leadership. I've been face to face on so many negotiations with so many key international partners, tactically in the battle zone, on the front line, been on the National Security Council, end of Bush, beginning of Obama. I've done it. They love us. They love it, and they love Trump because of his clarity. They may not have loved him, but they respected him, and that's important. They don't respect the Obama-Biden team. I'm sorry. So Churchill said, we're the worst, except for everything else. Remember that. Remember that. And it was funny, because Churchill would also talk about the British Constitution. He'd kind of tongue-in-cheek refer to the British Constitution. Everybody's read the British Constitution, right? There is no British Constitution, okay? Churchill was just tongue-in-cheek. There is no written constitution. That way you can be flexible. You can do anything you want, Having a written constitution, that kind of binds you, and, you got to, all these crazy rules you got to follow. No, we have the most close to perfect document that's ever been written in human history, and don't run away from that. Embrace that. So one of the metrics, and remember, President Trump was all about metrics and outcome, measured outcome, delivery. Current team isn't about delivery, they're about abstract thoughts. That's interesting. I'm about abstract thoughts too. But in the end, it's about results, it's about performance. He delivered, the current team doesn't know what delivery is. Never been responsible for creating a job, never been responsible for anything, okay? Except perpetuating problems. The metric that is so important, if you want to understand world affairs, the world situation, geopolitics, that's my world. You don't need a master's or PhD from Belfer at Harvard or from Johns Hopkins. Study population flows. Study population flows. And realize we're in the middle of the greatest population flow internally to America right now. The most massive, since the black population at the end of the Civil War moved north, right now, the massive, and you'll hear almost nothing about it. We are achieving a massive population flow internally from California and New York to Texas and Florida. This explains everything and explains why we're special, because people want to go to where there's freedom. Internationally, why are people coming here? I've worked these issues. People come here, and immigration is incredible, and it's a good thing as long as it's lawful, as long as it's organized. Nations die without immigration. It's very important. And others come here because of our ideal, because of our Constitution, because they know we're different. They know we're different. And they love that ideal. And I love them for loving that ideal. Please come here, because we want Americans who believe in that. That's why we're different here. Very few of them come here to recreate the mess they came from. They know corruption. And I'm part of a number of different groups. I'm on the shadow parliament for Hong Kong. All the Hong Kong expats have been thrown out. They come here because of our ideal. Praise God for that. Embrace them. People are not trying to break into China. People are not trying to sneak into Venezuela. People are not applying for movement into Iran. They're not trying to get into North Korea. They're trying to come to America. America. Because we're it. There is no other place to go in the world. It's us. And they want to be. They believe in that ideal. And I love it. Because a lot of them understand America a whole lot more than a lot of Americans. So I say, come here. Thank you. Praise God. Because we want people who believe and understand our ideal. They come here for that incredible concept. Alex de Tocqueville. Now this is where the Snopes fact checkers, and I think Snopes pajama boy has now been arrested for beating his second wife or something horrible crime. But they'll sharpshoot Alex de Tocqueville quote. He was a French, I don't know what you call him, a writer from the 1830s. He came here. Now it wasn't him exactly, if you study it historically. It wasn't exactly what he said, but it was inspired by his words. But he essentially, I'm boiling it down, I'm simplifying it. He said, in the 1830s, America is great. And America is great because America is good. And what he really saw was the churches and the congregations and the preachers and the flocks. And he saw that just that righteous spirit. Wonderful, beautiful. And that inspired him. And he said, America is great. Again, this was interpreted from his observations. America is great because America is good. And if America ever ceases to be good, America will cease to be great. So fight, embrace, do not relent. Do not relent. Do not give up. No matter what. As Churchill said, never, ever, 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 ever give up. So, remember the number 13, because this is the foundation of America. I'm not talking about 13 colonies. I'm actually talking about a numeric, 13%. In the American Revolution, 3% were fighters. And I've been in a number of conflicts here. Most people are fence-sitters, human nature, God-inspired. I'm just going to sit on the fence and see which way things go. Unfortunately, that's just the way. 3% were fighters in America who fought for liberty and freedom during the Revolutionary War. Only 3%. They were supported. 10% provided them support. And it's very important in insurgency, counterinsurgency. I've been there. Okay? 10% provided support. And it was mainly pastors and their flocks, preachers and their flocks. Okay? 13% won the American Revolutionary War. I think we're a lot more than 13%. In fact, I would say we're the majority. So 13% won this. Hang in there. We can do this. We can do this. 13%. We're special and different because there's never been anything like us in history. Our Constitution, a liberal, small liberal democratic republic, the foreign countries, I'm telling you, I work with so many, they love us. I'm not saying they want to be like us exactly, but they love us, and they love it when they see clear leadership. They don't want to see ambiguity, they want to see clear leadership. The evidence is population flows, and people wanting to come here. And even internally, the most massive American migration ever is going on right now. But internationally, they want to come here. As long as it's lawful and organized, that's a beautiful and necessary and wonderful thing. So, remember 13%, we're a lot more than that. We're special, we're unique, we're different, and we are a light to the world. So remember that. So thank you very much. Thank you for your time here.